preface this report, Human Aaron invited me to share an evening meal with him and his family. I was quite excited. This is, as far as I have thus far studied, an important meal, and their willingness to share it with me indicates that they have pack bonded with me and consider me a friend. Upon arrival, I was introduced to his wife Gina and their 2 young daughters Isabella and Mari. Human young are an interesting study, and I have considered beginning a sub-study on them, though perhaps that would be a bit overwhelming. The humans have a saying that warns against biting off more than you can chew, which I must say would be quite wise in my case. Anyways, I digress. The meal was enjoyable. Though humans are omnivorous and capable of consuming materials found on the Galactic Lethal Materials Index, Human Aaron and his family had carefully prepared foods that were well within safety parameters. More information about human diets, foods, and related topics can be read in reports 23 through 71. After the meal was finished and cleaned up, we spent several Earth hours recounting memories and stories. Many such stories could have been pulled up on the archives, but the way humans tell stories are uniquely enthralling. There were many times I felt like I was there on the missions with Human Aaron as he was narrating, even though they were of missions that had occurred before we met. As Earth's sun set below the horizon, the 2 young humans began displaying symptoms of weariness. After they were prepared for slumber, they returned to the main room where we had spent our after-meal time and began pleading with their father for a bedtime story. Human Aaron began with an animated story of a family of bears. I was a bit confused with this. From my studies of Earth, I had thought that bears were non-sentient creatures, not capable of living in a cute little house in the woods, sleeping in beds, and certainly not cooking and eating a food called porridge. After an inquiry, Human Aaron informed me that this story is a fable, a story where animals are given human-like qualities in order to tell a story with a moral at the end. It's a strange method, I'll admit, but not unheard of among the storytellers that exist in the galaxy. After that was cleared up, the story continued. It was quite entertaining. A small human with golden curly hair, aptly named Goldilocks, entered their house, consumed their food, and slept in their beds, only to be caught when the bears returned. I figured this was indeed a good moral. The young humans could relate to the girl in the story, and they could see how breaking and entering homes was unwise. An odd lesson, but with humans, things usually are a bit odd. Young Annabelle and Mari, however, were not pacified by the story and begged for another. Human Aaron began another story about 2 young children lost in the woods after their trail of breadcrumbs was eaten. I would like to interject here that many of these stories happen in these woods, and I'm not sure why humans keep wandering through them if they know they so often get lost there. Hungry, the children in these stories came across a house of gingerbread. See Report 32 on dangerous baked goods. And met a witch who invites them into her home and tries to eat them. At this point, I was understandably alarmed. I was unaware that humans were cannibalistic. This is not something that has been in any reports to the Galactic Guide, or at least not that I'm aware of. Omnivores are one thing, but sentient cannibalism is not something smiled on the Galactic community. Seeing I was upset, Human Aaron paused the story to inquire if I was okay. I most certainly was not. After 122 reports, I thought I knew humans. Human Aaron assured me that the children would be okay, and that they would escape without getting eaten, and most importantly, that cannibalism was not a widely practiced custom, that there were a few instances through human history of it occurring, but that to most of the world it was abhorrent and unacceptable. That's why the witch was the villain of the story, after all. He continued with the story, but I'm not sure if I can clearly recall the rest of it. I was quite shaken up. And all this was in a children's bedtime story? The young humans seemed completely unaffected by the story, other than what must have been a happy ending, and went to bed. I believe I have been given some insight as to why, or rather how, humans are capable of remaining so calm to alarming and terrifying situations as adults. They are trained from a young age.
Hi, it's me, The Wild Waffle. I write all these stories that I turn into videos here on my channel, and you can find my original stories in the link below in the description. If there's one in particular that you want to see as a video, drop a comment, let me know. I read all your comments, I appreciate all of them oh so much, and I hope to have more videos coming out soon. So until then, wear your seatbelt, be kind, and stay weird, you funky little human you.